What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are back again on the main account. We're going to jump into this one because this is one of my favorites that we do. Only get to do it every few months. Well, this one and the robot one that's coming up. But today in this video, we're going to talk about the new Season 6 heroes. I always like talking about the new heroes. I always like seeing what the new skills are, stats are. So let's go through them together. Of course, as a little preface, at the end of this video, I will show you maxing these guys completely out, both leveling up all of these stars, as well as leveling up all the exclusive equipment. As of right now, as you can see, we have all these guys completely maxed out. But let's go ahead and talk about the details, where you guys should focus on, what's worth spending on, what's not, and, well, see if it's worthwhile upgrading these heroes or wait for the next season. So let's jump in with Auto. This is the new defense hero. The exclusive equipment here is while defending, all the troops' defense bonuses increased by 16%. Now, we'll look at the arrest stats here. For me, for arrest, the main thing I look at is AoE damage. So this AoE damage coming off first is great. Attack increase is good as well. And then damage taken reduction when HP is below 40%. I think that's okay. Honestly, these shielders die pretty quick. I don't know how much this one truly helps, but we got it in there. I am using Auto. Seems to be functioning pretty well so far. But so if you're looking for a rest, he's pretty good. I would still say, in all reality, Zoltan, very feasible for when it comes to Arena. So take that for what it's worth. Zoltan still isn't bad. I still use actually Zoltan right now and Auto, but also down here, Tyrone is viable as well. So wouldn't say you need him specifically for Arena, but he's not bad. You go under these skills here. We'll talk about the war stats. We got this tactical damage reduction, which is pretty big right now. I'll give you a sneak peek on this. Let me jump over to this power armor hanger, this latest armor, and we go into the skills here, and this talks specifically about tactical damage. So keep that in mind. That is one of the reasons why I think Auto is, let me jump back over here. Why I think Auto is pretty good with that war stat, because it really helps negate, let's say, the effect of this new robot. We'll talk a little bit more in the robot section about this, but overall, Auto, really good for the defenders out there. So the whales who are defending Center of Supreme, defending any of the buildings on the outside, pretty essential for you whales out there who are going to be the rally leads for defending just because of this alone in all reality, let alone the 16% defense. Now, troop damage taken reduction, excellent. That's always good. And then tactical attack damage increase. Okay, this is great as well. So for this one here, I would say whales defending, excellent hero to focus on. Aside from that, if you're just, focused on solo attacks, or you're focused on doing arena, I'd say you can probably skip this one. You can probably look at some of the next generations and see what those guys have to offer. Now let's go to the next one. We'll talk about the Monkey King, Wukong. Now this is one of the new bomber heroes here. We'll jump in on the exclusive equipment. So rally attacks, increasing lethality, absolutely excellent. Let's go over to these pieces here. So for arrest, so arena stuff, AoE damage, I mentioned that in the last one. Great. I am using Wukong right now in arena. And then let's see, summons 2 clones. This seems to work out okay. I haven't seen anything too crazy here. Now, maybe it's because I have him synced with Terry. I'm not sure, but I am still using him. He seems to be functioning pretty well. Let's see, damage dealt increase and HP recovery. Honestly, I think all of these guys, once they get close, they end up dying pretty fast. So he's pretty good for arena, but nothing game-changing, once again. Now, jumping over the war stats, or the stuff that I like more, or that interests me more, is this increased tactical damage. Really, everything it seems like about this season 6 and the robots is all about this tactical damage. So keep that in mind. We'll start playing with that later on, maybe with different joiners to see how we can impact this the most. But tactical damage increase, like I said, again, with this season, seems like that's where it's at. Bomber damage increase, pretty clear there. Bombers do seem to be becoming a lot more effective, seem to be a lot more efficient, let's say, this round. And then let's see, troop damage increase 25%. Good. I'd say all those are pretty good things. Definitely I'm going to be using this guy for rally attacks. This lethality boost increase is absolutely excellent. I'd say the joiner skill is good, but really you're not going to be using it too much this season. So really this is for your rally attackers out there, right? If you're doing rally attacks, even if you're not defending, I'd say this guy is very important. Make sure you have him in your rallies. Like I said, this tactical damage is great. Lethality is absolutely excellent. Both really big things for rally attacking. So rally attackers out there, go ahead and get this guy. For solo stuff, nothing really to be too concerned about, right? If you're just doing solos or joining, I'd say, you can leave this one also. Now we jump over to Worrell, Paradox Engine. This guy here, this is for your solo attacks. So solo combat attacks, increasing attack of 16%. Now this is pretty good. I do think this 16% attack boost is nice for solo attacks, of course. So for those of you who've been holding out on a good bomber for solo attacks, I'd say this is probably the one to jump on during solo combat attacks, increasing attack. I mean, some of the other ones in the past, if we jump back to, I believe it was this guy. Yeah, so this was defense boost. The defense boost really doesn't do it for me when we're doing solo attacks. That's why, I'd never really push this guy too much. But yeah, I mean, if you've been holding out on a good solo attacker bomber, this is the time to jump on it. Pretty good stats for that. We'll jump over the skills. Now for skills, I'll be honest, I do not use him at all in arena at this point. I don't have too much opinion on it. I've tried him a few times, but didn't really see him help out too much. I will scroll through these arrest skills just so you guys have them. We do have AoE damage, enemy attack speed decrease. Maybe I need to give that a little bit more of a chance. Then attack increase when above 50%. So, although I don't use him, maybe something we can look at in the future. However, like I said, I haven't really seen him to be too effective in arena. Now, when it comes to war stats, basic attack damage increase seems to be pretty good. 25% increase on stats there. Not even too bad for a joiner stat. We may play with this in some future seasons. And then bombers have a chance to trigger a combo. Honestly, a lot of this stuff, when we're talking like combo chance and these different things, the reports don't really give us enough information. Same thing with like these turn-based skills. Let's see. This one isn't a turn-based, but bomber attack increased by 75%. At the end of the day, the turn-based stuff and some of these combo triggers and stuff like that, I don't fully understand. So that's why, well, really the reports don't explain it to us. There's nothing really in a report that will let us know what the hell that's for. So for these, I would say good for solo attacks. Nothing too crazy aside from that. So if you're looking for specifically for solos, yeah, go ahead and level them up. But aside from that, you can leave this guy be if you're just looking for joiners or other things. Now, let's talk about Kate. Kate is the new shooter hero this event. Exclusive equipment is while defending. Lethality boost is increased at 16%. Great for defending. Honestly, if you're going to be defending, same thing as what we talked about with auto. If you're going to be a defender, jump on her. Honestly, all the defenders typically are bigger accounts, bigger whales. So definitely jump on this. The exclusive equipment is great. Lethality boost is always welcomed. We'll go through these stats real quick. Let's see, HP recovery increase. I am using her right now in Arena. Seems to be working pretty well. Damage dealt increase looks great. And then stun rate. Stun rate's okay. I think if you get lucky and you can get some of those shielders at the beginning, may be helpful. But aside from that, stun isn't usually the one that I'm looking for in Arena. But I am using her. As you can see, I do have her paired up with Mai. So let me jump over to the war stats here. Troop attack increase. Awesome. Gotta love it. That's always good. It's kind of like future-proofed for further generations, as well as using it for the cage. You know, if you're going to be using cage and you want to join people, this is another great option here with the attack increase. I know a lot of people always ask me about cage stuff. So for cage, there you go. Jump on this one for that attack increase. Enemy shield bearer lethality reduction, bomber lethality reduction. Good. We'll take that. And mainly that's because bombers seem like they're becoming more useful this season. Now, we talked about the other bomber heroes. We talked about some of the other stats. We'll jump into more of this, I think, when we're talking about the latest and greatest for armor, or robots, whatever you want to call them, armor or robots. But I do think this is going to be pretty nice. So if you're doing, like I said, same thing. If you're going to be a defender, great one to have. And then troop damage, let's see, increases to troop damage by 43%. This is another one where we're talking about these rounds, right? The rounds aren't really explained in the reports. I've actually put in a request on the official Discord page, and I know many of you have done the same. But yeah, these rounds aren't really well explained. We don't really know how exactly they work, how they function, aside from seeing them very slightly mentioned in the reports. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't fully understand it. Sure, damage increased by 43% every 2 rounds sounds great, but we need some more detail to really know how much that's impacting the overall rallies and things like that. So yes, Kate is great. Like I said, the exclusive equipment here is for defending. I would recommend, if you're looking for another joiner, right, of a newer series, newer generation, whatever you want to call it. She is pretty good just because of this attack increase here. It's pretty viable for whatever it is that you're looking to do. Like I said, especially joining in the different cage rallies. Now, that being said, this generation, seems like there's going to be a shift. We have done some testing, and that's what it looks like also. Back in the previous generations, man, it was all shooters, right? You could use a ratio of like 1-1-8 and do well. Anything else, like you hardly needed bombers. You basically didn't even need shielders or bombers. So it's good to see that those tides are changing. Bombers becoming a little bit more impactful. But without dragging this video on too much longer, I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be some clips here with some music coming right after this, talking about not talking about, but to show you the full upgrade process on these 4 heroes. Get to see everything. Like I said, you're going to see all of the skills getting maxed out, exclusive equipment, level 80, the whole deal, 100% maxed out. You'll see that coming up. And we are trying to still hit that 10,000 subscriber mark. Man, I had a goal for the end of this year, but you guys have just been killing it with the subscriptions. Man, we're already, at the time of recording this, approaching 9,000 rapidly. So please like and subscribe, share the video, turn on notifications if these videos are helpful to you. It really, really does help the channel a lot. So I can't thank you guys enough, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.